Dr. Sarah Chen stared at the holographic display, her eyes wide with wonder as the submersible sensors revealed something impossible. At 36,000 feet below sea level, nestled within a previously unmapped trench off the Mariana System, stood a structure that defied explanation. "Are you seeing this?" she whispered into her comlink. The structure's metallic surface pulsed with a faint blue light, patterns flowing like digital rivers across its angular surface. Despite being under crushing pressure that should have destroyed any known material, it remained pristine. Back in the control room of the research vessel, Nautilus, Dr. James Rodriguez leaned forward, his coffee forgotten. "Composition analysis is coming in now. Sarah, this material, it's not in our database. Not even close." The discovery should have caused panic. Instead, it sparked something else entirely. Within hours, research teams from 20 different nations were collaborating on the find. Chinese quantum computers analyzed the energy signatures, while Indian deep-sea experts prepared specialized equipment. European materials scientists worked alongside American engineers to develop new ways to study the structure. When the structure began responding to their presence 3 days later, humanity held its breath, not in fear, but in anticipation. The first message arrived in a form no one expected: mathematical equations etched in light across the structure's surface. Dr. Chen, who hadn't left the observation post since the discovery, was the first to recognize them. "It's not just equations," she announced to the global research team. "They're showing us how to build a quantum communication device." What followed was unprecedented in human history. Rather than keeping the discovery secret, governments worldwide shared information openly. Universities redirected their research efforts. Private companies offered their resources. Children sent drawings of what they imagined the aliens might look like to the research team. The observers, as they came to be known, finally revealed themselves on a sunny Tuesday morning. Their holographic forms appeared simultaneously in major cities worldwide, expecting to find a species paralyzed by fear or divided by the revelation of their existence. Instead, they found humanity at its finest. In New York, a street vendor offered a holographic alien a hot dog. In Tokyo, a group of school children presented a welcome banner covered in drawings from around the world. In Lagos, university students had already prepared a presentation theorizing how the aliens' quantum communication system could be improved. The observers' report to their superiors that evening was unlike any first contact assessment they'd ever filed. "The humans," it read, "respond to the unknown not with fear, but with fascination. They see barriers not as warnings, but as puzzles to be solved. Most remarkably, they appear to be teaching us as much as we are teaching them." In the weeks that followed, humanity's unique approach became even clearer. While the observers offered carefully measured insights into basic interstellar concepts, humans were already combining these ideas with their own technologies in ways the observers had never considered. They weren't just learning. They were innovating. The silent watchers had come to study humanity. Instead, they found themselves being studied in return, and the galaxy would never be the same. High Counselor Zixtal of the Galactic Council drummed his crystalline fingers against the quantum display, creating tiny ripples in the holographic data stream. Before him, rows of encrypted transmissions between council worlds flickered with an unmistakable pattern. They had been accessed. "Impossible," he muttered, but the evidence was undeniable. Somehow, the humans had not only intercepted the Council's most secure communications, but had decrypted them using methods that shouldn't exist for centuries in their development timeline. The Council's security chief, Varine, projected her consciousness into the chamber. Her ethereal form shimmered with concern. "The humans are using a hybrid system we've never encountered. They've combined their primitive binary computers with quantum processors, but they're running them in parallel instead of in sequence. It's inelegant, but remarkably effective." A notification pulsed. Another firewall had been breached. Instead of using brute force or sophisticated algorithms, the humans were somehow teaching their systems to evolve in real time. adapting to each new security measure within hours of implementation. "Show me their progress," Zixtal commanded. The display transformed into a three-dimensional timeline. In just 3 months, human quantum computing had advanced by what should have been 30 years of development. They weren't just learning from the stolen data, they were improving upon it. On Earth, 17-year-old Maya Patel sat in her bedroom in Mumbai, her augmented reality interface glowing as she participated in what the world now called the Quantum Challenge. Millions of civilian programmers worldwide were working together, sharing insights and building upon each other's breakthroughs. What had started as a government initiative had turned into a global collaborative effort. "Got another one," Maya announced to her virtual team. Her quantum encryption solver had just cracked another layer of alien code, revealing specifications for advanced energy systems. Within minutes, teams in Lagos, Santiago, and Seoul were already analyzing the data, while others worked to strengthen Earth's own encryption methods. Back in the council chamber, Varine's form flickered with increasing distress. "High Counselor, we've detected human quantum signatures in systems we thought were completely isolated. They're not just breaking through our security, they're using our own networks to learn about us." The latest report showed humans had begun implementing gravity manipulation technologies based on fragments of data they'd uncovered. But instead of following the Council's centuries-old designs, they were developing new applications that the Council's engineers had never considered. Zixtal made a decision. Initiate Protocol Omega. Lock down all non-essential communications. Restrict their access to our networks completely. Varine's form dimmed slightly. "High Counselor." They anticipated this response. "They've already downloaded significant portions of our technical archives and are sharing the knowledge openly among their population. Every time we create a new barrier, they transform it into an opportunity." Zixtal finished. He understood now why the observers' reports had been so urgent. Humanity didn't just overcome obstacles, they thrived on them. Each security measure wasn't protecting the Council's knowledge, it was providing humans with new puzzles to solve, new challenges to overcome. The chess game had begun, but the Council was quickly realizing they weren't the only ones moving pieces on the board. The neutral space station Genesis spun gracefully at the intersection of 3 major trade routes, its crystalline architecture reflecting the light of distant stars. Inside, the first official Galactic diplomatic summit with Earth's representatives was about to begin, and Ambassador Elena Torres couldn't help but smile at the nervousness radiating from the alien diplomats. She had arranged the human delegation's presentation area like a warm living room rather than a sterile diplomatic chamber. The scent of freshly baked bread and coffee wafted through environmental filters, and soft Earth music played in the background. Several alien representatives were already swaying unconsciously to the rhythm. "Please, try the croissants," Elena offered to Kith, the towering arthropodian representative. "They're made with a recipe that's been perfected over centuries in a region of Earth called France." As Kith's mandibles carefully sampled the pastry, his compound eyes widened with pleasure. Across the room, Dr. Marcus Chen was casually explaining humanity's latest breakthrough in antimatter containment to a group of fascinated alien scientists. "Oh, this," he said, projecting a hologram of the containment system. "It's actually inspired by how our cells maintain ion balance. We just scaled it up and added a quantum twist." The alien scientists exchanged worried glances. The humans had developed this technology months ahead of any projected timeline, and they were discussing it as casually as one might discuss the weather. Ambassador Xydelvan of the Centaurian Alliance leaned toward Elena, their crystalline form shimmering with curiosity. "Your species is quite unexpected, Ambassador Torres. You share your achievements openly, yet each revelation seems to carry a subtle weight." Elena's smile remained warm as she refilled Xydelvan's cup with jasmine tea. "We believe that progress flourishes in the light of shared knowledge. Speaking of progress, we're particularly excited about our recent developments in gravity manipulation. We'd love to hear your thoughts on our approach." The mention of gravity manipulation sent a ripple through the assembled diplomats. Humanity shouldn't have been able to achieve such technology for at least another century. Yet here they were, discussing it over pastries and tea. Later that evening, during the cultural exchange portion of the summit, human performers demonstrated traditional dances from around Earth. As the dancers moved with controlled grace, Ambassador Exilvan noticed something striking. Every movement was both artistic and efficient, both beautiful and precisely calculated. "They're exactly like their dances," Exilvan transmitted privately to the other alien representatives. "Each gesture serves multiple purposes. Even this performance is a demonstration of their physical capabilities and coordination." Alina caught the subtle shift in the room's atmosphere and smoothly transitioned the conversation to Earth's space exploration initiatives. She shared footage of the new Mars colonies, carefully noting how humans had adapted their technology to survive in hostile environments. By the summit's end, the alien representatives had received a clear message, delivered through smiles, shared meals, and casual conversations. Humanity was advancing at an unprecedented rate, and they were doing it with a unique combination of openness and strategic thinking. As the delegations prepared to depart, Keith found himself still holding a box of croissants, wondering exactly when and how the humans had managed to make their potential so clear without ever making a single threat. The Galactic Council's observation chamber hummed with concerned murmurs as the latest reports on human advancement streamed across the quantum displays. Senior observer Nix 427 highlighted a series of data points that seemed to defy conventional development patterns. What we initially considered limitations of the human species, they have transformed into catalysts for growth, Nix 427 explained, their bioluminescent patterns pulsing with excitement and concern. Take their short lifespans, for instance. The display shifted to show human research laboratories across Earth. Scientists in their 60s and 70s worked with an urgency that astounded the long-lived council members, training younger researchers with an efficiency born of necessity. Where other species might spend centuries contemplating a single problem, humans attack challenges with relentless determination. They don't see time as a luxury, Nix 427 continued, but as a resource to be maximized. Their scientific breakthroughs aren't happening despite their short lives, but because of them. The next series of images showed something even more remarkable. Different human nations, companies, and research teams were competing fiercely in various fields, yet simultaneously sharing crucial discoveries. This seeming contradiction had produced an innovation spiral that accelerated their progress exponentially. Yesterday, a team in Brazil developed a new quantum encryption method, reported junior observer Lear 891. Within hours, a rival group in Korea had not only replicated it but improved upon it. Instead of protecting their discoveries, they'd published both versions openly, leading to 16 further improvements from teams worldwide. The council members watched in amazement as human settlement pods, originally restricted from leaving their solar system, were discovered throughout nearby star systems. Each pod had been uniquely designed for its destination environment, showcasing humanity's gift for specialized adaptation. On a desert world orbiting Proxima Centauri, a settlement pod had developed crystalline solar collectors that mimicked local geological formations. Around a gas giant in the Tau Ceti system, another pod floated in the upper atmosphere, its design inspired by Earth's deep-sea creatures. They're not just surviving in these environments, Nix 427 observed. They're learning from them, integrating alien ecosystem designs into their technology. Each limitation we impose becomes a catalyst for creative solutions. The Council's attempt to restrict human expansion had backfired spectacularly. Instead of containing humanity, they had pushed them to develop stealth technologies, miniaturization techniques, and adaptive systems that exceeded all projected capabilities. A holographic alert suddenly illuminated the chamber. Another settlement pod had been discovered, this one orbiting a pulsar. Somehow, humans had developed shielding technology that allowed them to study the extreme environment up close. Their physical limitations, Lear 891 noted, drive them to create tools and technologies that extend their reach far beyond their natural capabilities. Every weakness becomes a strength through innovation. The council members sat in stunned silence as they realized the truth. Humanity's greatest asset wasn't any particular technology or capability, but their remarkable ability to transform challenges into opportunities for growth. The very act of trying to contain them had only made them stronger. Dr. Zyra Vex, lead cynoanthropologist of the Galactic Council, stood in the heart of Tokyo, her adaptive camouflage allowing her to observe humanity unnoticed. The city pulsed around her in what seemed like complete chaos. Hundreds of transportation systems interweaving, millions of individuals moving in seemingly random patterns, countless decisions being made simultaneously. Yet somehow, it worked perfectly. Fascinating, she whispered into her research log. Their systems don't just tolerate chaos, they're designed to harness it. She watched as traffic lights adjusted in real time to crowd patterns, while street vendors smoothly adapted their offerings based on the changing flow of pedestrians. In her research hub orbiting Earth, Zyra's team had assembled a comprehensive analysis of human society. Their findings challenged everything the Council thought they knew about civilizational development. Most species seek to eliminate variables, she explained to her assembled research team. Humans actively cultivate them. The holographic display showed Earth's stock markets, where controlled uncertainty drove innovation and growth. Next to it, a display of human weather prediction systems demonstrated how they had learned to find patterns in atmospheric chaos. The most surprising discovery came from their analysis of human scientific breakthroughs. Unlike other species who approached problems methodically, humans often made leaps of intuition, finding solutions in seemingly unrelated fields. Look at this, Zyra highlighted a recent human innovation in quantum computing. They'd modeled their breakthrough on the seemingly random patterns of forest growth. They're not just accepting chaos, they're finding new forms of order within it. Her team observed human children at play, noting how their unstructured exploration led to creative problem-solving skills. They studied human art, where controlled disorder created beauty. They analyzed human cities, where planned and spontaneous development coexisted to create vibrant communities. In her private research notes, Zyra added, "Attempting to impose rigid order on humanity would be like trying to capture a lightning bolt in a bottle. They've evolved to thrive in uncertainty, to find opportunities in disorder." The evidence was everywhere. Human emergency response teams trained to adapt to unpredictable situations. Their military strategies incorporated controlled chaos to create advantage. Even their approach to space exploration embraced the unknown as an opportunity rather than a threat. During a routine observation of a human research facility, Zyra witnessed a perfect example of this unique trait. A laboratory accident had produced unexpected results, and instead of discarding the error, the scientists were excitedly exploring the new possibilities it presented. Their greatest achievements often emerge from what other species would consider mistakes or chaos. She reported to the Council, "They have developed a civilization that doesn't just survive randomness. It evolves through it." As she concluded her research, Zyra realized that the Council's traditional methods of assessment and control were useless here. Humanity's relationship with chaos wasn't a weakness to be exploited or a flaw to be corrected. It was the source of their greatest strength. Captain Sarah Chen of the Earth Diplomatic Corps stood before the crystalline beings of Rigel 7, their light-based language dancing across her specialized contact lenses. To her right, the insectoid arxons clicked and vibrated their communication. Two species that had never been able to establish meaningful contact despite centuries of trying. Until now. "You see," Sarah explained, projecting a hologram of Earth's coral reefs, "your crystalline communication reminds me of how our coral creates patterns of bioluminescence. And your vibrational language," she turned to the arxons, "shares remarkable similarities with how our insects communicate through substrate vibrations." The two alien species, previously unable to comprehend each other's basic concepts, watched in fascination as Sarah bridged their understanding through Earth-based analogies. This scene was repeating itself across the galaxy as human diplomats discovered their unique gift, the ability to see themselves in every species they encountered. In the Galactic Council's observation chamber, High Minister Zix watched the recordings with growing amazement. "They're doing it again," he noted to his advisors. "The humans are connecting with species we've classified as incompatible for millennia." The displays showed multiple first contact scenarios playing out across different star systems. In each one, humans found ways to relate to seemingly alien concepts through their own diverse experiences. To a hive mind species, they explained individual thinking through the metaphor of human brain cells working both independently and as part of a greater whole. To silicon-based beings, they demonstrated organic creativity by showing how Earth's geology created art through natural processes. Their planet's extreme biodiversity has given them a unique advantage, noted Chief Sinologist Ven. They understand both collective and individual existence. They've evolved alongside creatures that fly, swim, burrow, and climb. They've developed technology by observing natural phenomena. Every alien concept seems to have some parallel in their experience. The most remarkable breakthrough came during humanity's first contact with the quantum phase ethereals. While other species had always struggled to communicate with beings who existed in multiple states simultaneously, humans simply compared it to their own quantum computing experiments and their philosophers' ancient concepts of duality. Sarah's voice continued in the recording as she helped the crystalline beings and Arxons establish their first trade agreement. "Your light-based art," she explained to the crystalline beings, "could be experienced by the Arxons through vibration patterns, similar to how our deaf humans feel music through vibrations." The Arxons' excitement was palpable as they experienced the translated light patterns through vibration for the first time. The crystalline beings pulsed with new colors as they began to understand the Arxons' vibrational poetry. In his private chambers later, High Minister Zix reviewed the day's reports with a sense of awe. Humanity's gift wasn't just their technology or their adaptability. It was their ability to see connections where others saw only differences. Their diverse planetary experience had made them universal translators, not just of languages, but of experiences and concepts. They were becoming the galaxy's bridge builders, turning ancient rivalries into partnerships through their unique ability to understand and relate to all forms of life. The great arena of Crixos, once a battlefield for the warrior Crix species, now echoed with an unfamiliar sound: laughter. On the sandy floor, human sports ambassador Marcus Rodriguez demonstrated the art of basketball to a group of towering four-armed aliens who had known only combat sports for millennia. "See, it's not about dominance," Marcus explained, deftly passing the ball. "It's about teamwork, strategy, and the joy of the game." The Crix warriors, initially skeptical, were now enthusiastically attempting three-pointers with their multiple arms, their competitive energy channeled into something new: play. Across the galaxy, similar transformations were taking place. In the Silicon Valleys of Zentera, Dr. Maya Patel sat in a meditation circle with crystalline beings, teaching them about human creativity through the practice of mindfulness. Creativity isn't just about making something new, Maya explained to the logical, pattern-focused Zenterans. It's about seeing existing patterns in new ways. She guided them through visualization exercises, helping them understand how human imagination could enhance their natural computational abilities. The quantum-linked hive of Beta Reticuli had initially dismissed individual thinking as inefficient. That was before Professor James Chen introduced them to jazz music. The concept of improvisation within a collective framework revolutionized their understanding of group dynamics. Each instrument maintains its unique voice, James demonstrated, playing a recording of Miles Davis while contributing to the greater harmony. The hive began experimenting with allowing individual nodes more autonomy, leading to unprecedented innovations in their collective problem-solving abilities. In the methane seas of Europa, marine biologist Dr. Amara Okafor shared stories of Earth's ocean life with the aquatic Europans. Through tales of dolphin pods and coral reef ecosystems, she helped them understand how diversity strengthens biological systems. Look at how Earth's oceans thrive through cooperation between different species, she explained through the water vibration translator. The Europans, fascinated by concepts of symbiosis, began reconsidering their historically isolationist policies. The Galactic Council's education department was overwhelmed with requests. Species that had been set in their ways for thousands of years were suddenly asking for human teachers, eager to learn new perspectives on everything from art to technology. They're not just teaching skills, observed Chief Cultural Officer Lix. They're teaching ways of thinking. The display showed hundreds of similar scenes playing out across known space, humans sharing their unique perspectives on competition, creativity, individuality, and cooperation. In the meditation gardens of New Terra, a young human child was teaching a group of ancient energy beings how to play hide and seek. The beings, who had never understood the concept of games, were discovering the simple joy of playful misdirection. The Council's latest report noted an unexpected trend. Species that had learned from humans were beginning to innovate in their own unique ways. The Cricks had developed new sports combining their warrior traditions with human concepts of fair play. The Zentarans were creating new art forms blending mathematical precision with human-inspired creativity. Humanity hadn't just brought new ideas to the galaxy. They had awakened something that had been dormant in many species, the desire to grow beyond their own limitations. The Grand Chamber of the Galactic Council gleamed under the light of three suns, its crystalline walls reflecting the assembled representatives of 1,000 worlds. High Counselor Zixtal stood before them, presenting the annual assessment of humanity's impact on galactic civilization. When we first discovered humans, he began, his form shimmering with complex emotions. We saw them as a threat to be contained. We were right about them being a threat, but not in the way we imagined. The chamber's holographic displays showed scenes from across the galaxy. The warrior Cricks teaching their new sports to the previously hostile Draconians, the Silicon Zentarans collaborating with quantum phase beings on artistic expressions, and the hive minds of Beta Reticuli engaging in individual creative pursuits while maintaining their collective harmony. Humanity's greatest weapon was never their technology, their adaptability, or even their remarkable ability to learn, Zixtal continued. It was their gift for helping others see beyond their own limitations. Ambassador Elena Torres sat among the Earth delegation, remembering the early days when humanity first stepped onto the galactic stage. They had come so far from those tentative first contacts. Now, Earth's universities hosted students from across the galaxy, while human teachers and diplomats were welcomed on countless worlds. A recent discovery flashed on the displays, a breakthrough in quantum engineering achieved through collaboration between human intuition and Zentaran logic. Next to it, images showed the first interspecies cultural festival on Alpha Centauri, where art forms from 100 worlds merged into something entirely new. The humans didn't just change themselves, observed senior anthropologist Zuravex, addressing the council. They changed how we all see ourselves. They showed us that our differences weren't barriers. They were opportunities for growth. The evidence was undeniable. Species that had remained stagnant for millennia were evolving culturally and technologically. Ancient rivals were finding common ground through human-inspired innovations. The galaxy was transforming, not through force or dominance, but through shared learning and understanding. Our initial assessment was incomplete, Zixtal concluded. We thought humanity's rapid advancement made them the galaxy's greatest threat. In reality, their greatest threat was to our complacency, our fixed ways of thinking, our acceptance of limitations. The council chamber erupted in a symphony of light, sound, and quantum resonances, the varied expressions of approval from different species. Among them, Elena smiled, thinking of how far they'd all come together. Later, in the chamber's meditation garden, Zixtal found Elena watching the sunset. You knew, didn't you? he asked. From the very beginning. Elena watched as students from a dozen worlds practiced Earth meditation techniques nearby, each adapting the methods to their own physiologies. We never wanted to be the galaxy's greatest threat, she replied. We just wanted to be its greatest catalyst for positive change. Above them, the stars twinkled with new possibility. Humanity had indeed transformed the galaxy, not by dominating it, but by helping every species, including themselves, discover new ways to grow, learn, and thrive together.